All right, Herc, big story yesterday out of this game for Christian Pulisic is that we saw him on the left wing in the absence of Rafael Leao. How do you think he did?
I thought he was decent. It's very difficult for an offensive player to be dangerous or offensive when you're chasing the game. Listen, early on, they had a penalty kick opportunity, and Giroud misses the penalty kick. And then they end up going down to their own penalty kick. They're behind the 8 ball, and when you think they're coming back, a Chukwueze goal that gets a deflection going in, again, silly mistakes, and you're behind the 8 ball again. And as an offensive player, that makes it increasingly difficult. That said, I thought he was dangerous. I thought he was active. Chukwueze had a goal, and he caused a PK with this shot that was off the handball for a Dortmund player early on. And I still thought that Christian Pulisic had a better outing than Chukwueze. It's just anytime you can't defend properly and you're giving up those defensive errors, then goalkeeping mistakes, as an offensive player, it really puts you in a difficult position to try to be effective because Dortmund was just trying to pick you apart. They're sitting in and picking you apart right after that. I thought he was decent. I thought he was active, but it's very difficult. He should have had a couple assists, if I'm being honest, but that's not on Christian Pulisic. If I was rating a performance A to F, I'd give him a B.
Okay. The common thought, I think, with Pulisic, Herc, is that his best position is left wing, but because Rafael Leao plays that, you're not going to really get too many minutes there with Milan. We've seen him at right wing. I think I would like to see him more in that 10 in the 4-2-3-1. I love Christian Pulisic centrally, especially when I've seen him there with the national team. Early days with the national team, they just dropped him in the middle, let him do what he wanted, and he was a real special player. Shaka, what do you think so far of Pulisic? Not just the game yesterday against Dortmund, but generally his start to life at Milan.
I think he's been really good, in all honesty. And I questioned whether Pulisic and Milan was the right fit. I didn't see it working out as well as it certainly has, and I think he's been outstanding. And I think Herc is right. And while Chukwueze maybe would have gotten man of the match for AC Milan, I thought Pulisic probably had a lot more to be proud of. And again, doubling down on what Herc said, it is a difficult ask for Milan in that circumstance. Decimated by injuries, no centre-backs, you know you're fragile defensively, so there's a lot that's to be asked of your attacking players. One of those attacking players is Olivier Giroud, which means everybody else around him is going to have to provide the legs for him. And I thought Pulisic did that better than anybody else in the park. The wind came out of the Milan sails once Giroud missed that early penalty, and then Dortmund go down the other end just about a couple of minutes later, get a penalty of their own, and all of a sudden now you're chasing the game when you don't have your starting back four. That's a really difficult ask, and a difficult ask for your wingers, who you're already asking to do the running for your centre forward. So I thought Pulisic did really well in given the circumstances around Milan. It was just a poor team performance, but of everybody on the park, probably the two who can be proudest of their performances are the two wingers, Chukwueze and Christian Pulisic.
You know, Seb, can I just add what's very difficult for Christian Pulisic, who's going to most likely be playing on the right-hand side. I think he's had a better season than Chukwueze. Is that Rafael Leao's the guy's going to be on the left, so you're on the right. It's who's behind you. You've got the team captain, Calabria, behind you, who's one-way traffic. He's a traffic cone at times, and that puts a lot of pressure on whoever's in front of him. I'm being very honest. It puts a lot of pressure on whoever's in front of him because you can't take this certain risk that you normally would take if you have a guarantee behind you. That's a different type of pressure for Christian Pulisic.
Shaka, Milan right now are last in the group. They got your former team, one of your former teams, Newcastle, in the group phase finale. You giving AC Milan any shot to get to the knockout rounds?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Not at St James's Park. Listen, at St James, Newcastle have to win this game, and I think progress for Newcastle is still a huge possibility. Dortmund right now top the group, but if PSG go to Dortmund and win, Dortmund will finish second. So there is a reason for Dortmund to get something out of this game. A draw sees Dortmund top the group. That's the least that they are hoping for. If PSG draw, Newcastle win, Newcastle go through. because Newcastle also have the head-to-head on PSG. So kind of given AC Milan's issues defensively with the injury problems that I don't expect will solve themselves by the next match day, given everything that's at stake for Newcastle, given what I know St James's Park can be like on these big nights, I'm picking Newcastle to pick up the 3 points, and then I'm looking over in Dortmund to see if they can do my old team a favour.
And Shaka, we know if Newcastle get those 3 points, AC Milan not only forget the Champions League, forget Europa League as well. What a blow that would be. All right, I didn't want to do this next segment.
Sorry, a team that got to the semi-final last year, I mean, that has to be rather deflating.
That's been their Champions League kind of life, if you will. I mean, the opening game against Newcastle at home in the San Siro, they should have won that game 4-0.
Yeah.
It wasted, squandered opportunities, and here you are, last match day, hoping for a prayer.